Alrighty, so this is the first collaborative mock draft on the channel. So I got Joe with me today. He's the man who inspired me to do all of this
What's
stuff.
up, boys?
Um, so we'll get right into it. It'll just be a one rounder today. So Joe's a Seahawks fan, so I'm gonna let him do we're gonna do NFC AFC since
You
if
want
we
to
were
go
gonna do
NFC
odds and
AFC?
evens, it would be
Perfect.
lining up perfectly. So we're gonna do AFC, NFC. So I'm gonna start us off. I think this pick is probably going to be Cam Ward almost irregardless of who's picking here, because New York may come up, Tennessee may stick and pick. I don't see another situation where this isn't Cam Ward. I know Tennessee said generational and whatnot, and that may mean Carter, that may mean Hunter, but I think Cam Ward's probably the pick here regardless. What do you think?
I agree. What are your thoughts on the Giants coming up here? Because I've been pretty headstrong on that. I think the Giants don't want to miss their opportunity at quarterback.
Hmm.
Uh, but also the Titans have really set up this offseason to obviously go after a quarterback in that position.
Yeah. Yeah, I see the offensive line to me is for New York is not 100% there.
Yeah.
Um, I really like Neighbors. I really like the supporting cast there. I'm a big fan of Theo Johnson, the tight end. Like New York definitely has the assets to move up to the number one, but do they have the assets to protect the number one? So we're gonna
Yeah.
roll Cam Ward here. This isn't even necessarily Tennessee's pick. This is just who's going number one, and it's probably gonna be Cam Ward because either again Tennessee's gonna move up or Tennessee's gonna stick and pick or somebody's gonna move up for him. So now that moves to Cleveland, man, they brought back Garrett. This is really interesting situation along the defensive line because you could go Carter here and have an absolute wrecking ball.
Dude, that's been my spot. I love Abdul Carter to the Browns, but I feel like they have to go QB to stay somewhat aggressive. But Shadur here is just not my spot.
Yeah, man, if Shador doesn't go three, I don't see him
It's a
going
fall.
going to like Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Cleveland does need a little bit of help in the receiver game. So like I saw something a little while ago that where Travis Hunter will probably set up with like either as a cornerback two or cornerback two, wide receiver three, or a cornerback three, wide receiver two kind of thing.
yeah,
So unless there's a team like New England who wants him exclusively at wide receiver, because honestly, he'd probably be corner three out of the gate with Carlton Davis coming in. I don't want to spend too much more time on it, so I'm going to roll with Hunter here, actually.
yeah. I like that a lot. I think he rolls in as a good wide receiving option there. Just some quick plays here and there, and then
Yeah,
he can be added corner depth there that he can come in and play as a starter there for them easily.
for sure. He's a starter at corner, and then there's not with Judy coming out a little bit more. There's not as much pressure for him to perform as a receiver. So now you're up, the Giants here.
All right. So I'm under the impression that Dayball and is it Joe Shane over at
Yeah,
the with the Giants, they need a quarterback. They have to get their guy here to create some job security. I think they are both on the hot seat here, and I think it's the only spot Shadur goes before dropping. Really, I
yeah,
think they either stay here. They really, honestly, they could slide a little bit if they had someone really coming up, but there's no one that I see coming up for this spot. So I'm just gonna stick and pick here, Shador Sanders. It's their jobs depending on it here.
it's such an interesting dynamic here because I'm looking at Shuck, I'm looking at McCord, I'm looking at Dart, and I don't see a lot. difference to Sanders. Um, like Dion did all of this diva stuff when he was coming out, but
for
Dion
sure.
was Dion. Like,
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I see. I'm not a complete Shador hater. I think Shador has some great upside in this draft. I think he has good arm. He has good arm talent. He's an accurate passer. You can't take that away from him. He's played under pressure. So if he's coming into a situation like in New York where he's going to have to face some pressure, it's not something that's going to drastically change his game from what we've seen.
yeah, yeah,
So
and he's really good. He's really good in the short passing game, and he's really good in the long passing game. But the kind of middle yardage is kind of his weak area. So,
for sure.
and with a guy like Malik Neighbors, you can kind of work in the short game with him a little bit
For
there.
sure. That's kind of what I'm seeing there is use neighbors, kind of get Shador adjusted if that's the way you go. Let it play out.
Yeah, and you got a big athletic tight end there as well. So
You
this
got a
one,
real you got an option here, dude, as a Patriots fan.
that to me, this isn't even. I'm not even flinching here. I'm running this card up to the table. This is Abdul Carter. I'm
Dude,
not
Abdul
even
Carter in
flinching.
New England would be disgusting. If the fall goes, dude, I would love to see it.
You have five guys going after the quarterback. You have Milton Williams on the interior. You have Harold Landry. You have Keon White, and you have Robert Spillane, and then you add Abdul Carter to that.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Nuts. Oh, and then Christian Barmore.
Yeah,
So
I like
you
that.
have six guys that can go after
Dude,
the quarterback.
that is a scary defensive front to face because that's the thing. I mean, you bring that defense back to New England, and that's a strong unit.
Yeah, yeah. I think Vrabel will be licking his chops there. I think if Carter's not here at four, then it's probably a little more of a discussion here.
For sure.
But
If
McMillan,
Carter's not there, I think you have Hunter available. I think Tet in that spot isn't gross. Will Camp, or you guys still need some offensive line help, right? Am I tripping, or do you guys pick
yeah,
up some guys in the free agency?
yeah, but I'm not wild about the offensive lineman going top five.
I gotcha.
I could see Membu going top 10. I could see maybe Booker going top 10, but I don't can't Cam Will Campbell could easily fall out of the top 10 and I wouldn't be shocked.
Ooh, ooh.
Um but yeah, because like even though the Bears should take an offensive lineman, are they going to? Same with the Saints, same with the
Yeah,
Jets. It's kind of up in the air. I've got like four in a row here. So Jacksonville, this is gonna be Mason Graham. Um,
yeah.
they didn't really do anything in free agency along the defensive line, so they he's the safest prospect in this draft. He's probably my number three, maybe my number four overall, and that moves to Vegas. Am I gonna do it?
I can tell you as a Seahawks fan, Pete's gonna do it if you're not going to, dude. He wants
Yeah,
him.
I like it. I like it. Their offensive line isn't as bad as people think it is.
No, I think they have a very solid offensive line. I think they have a line that could easily work with Janty behind it.
And Gino benefits from a good running game, so just hopefully he doesn't get in the red zone too often. So yeah, we're gonna roll Genty here, and that leaves New York. I'm not gonna be like that one dude who put up Tyler Warren here. I'm not gonna do that. Just on positional value, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm gonna roll Membu here. I like the field signing as just like a potential starter, but it's the Jets, man. Like the Jets have just had that history of messing picks up.
No, they need and that's one where you can't mess it up in my opinion. Mebu's an animal. He'll come in, he'll be that cornerstone for you. Jets need it, dude. They've gone through how
Yeah,
many quarterbacks in how many years purely off.
they're fifth in AFC East titles.
It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
They need a little switch up, and I think taking a cornerstone tackle is a good look towards the future.
You're up with Carolina here. You got like five in a row here.
Okay. This is kind of a weird spot in the draft for me. Every mock that I have, these couple picks is where I kind of am in a weird spot. I feel like, especially Carolina. That's I don't know how to draft Carolina. I don't know. They're in a weird spot where they have a lot of positional needs, or a lot of not even necessarily needs, but spots where they can go to really improve. That being said, I think edge is a place of need here.
Now, who's your number two edge off the board? That's
That's
the number one question here.
it depends. Okay, I really like Mike Green. I think I think there are some options later that you can find a Mike Green type player, but I think that Mike Green explosiveness is really what you're looking for on that defensive front. The allegations. That's the
Yeah,
biggest thing. That's the
yeah.
biggest thing where I think at number 7 it's way too rich. I don't see him going there. I do see a fall
17 sacks.
and James Pierce as well. It's those two spots where I could see each of them kind of going interchangeably, but I don't care. I'm going Mike Green. I don't care.
All right.
I think he's who Carolina needs. I think they need that force off the edge.
And
Um,
their owner doesn't care about off the
Dude, they
field
don't get
stuff.
they could care less about off the field issues. They need to build a team right now.
Did
So
you did you see that video of him walking into a restaurant when there was like the sign outside that said sell the team, Tepper, and
Pepper,
Tepper walked into the restaurant and told them to take the sign down. Yeah, it's
just
nuts.
it's just they've got to figure something out there. Like,
Now
but
you're up with New Orleans, and I'll
moving
let
on
you
to
talk
New
about it, and then
Orleans.
I'll tell you my really bad trend I'm noticing.
This is I hate these 4 picks. I hate these. Actually, San Francisco is a little bit more okay because I like offensive line there, but the Saints here, I like defensive line. I like defensive. Could take interior. I could go edge here. Another wide receiver wouldn't be bad. Tet could find a place here. Burden could find a place here. Not Burden. Sorry, they already have. They've got Olave out there. What are some of your thoughts here in New Orleans?
I'm noticing a really bad trend here of people taking guys that New Orleans doesn't need. Like
Yeah.
they're screwed financially for the next few years. I don't understand taking Tyler Warren here. I don't understand taking a safety here. I don't know, even a corner.
Mm-mm.
I would kind of stick trench wise.
Yeah,
And
that's kind of where I'm thinking. Get guys who are going to be cheap guys now, expensive guys later, where you
yeah,
can get some development on the edge or in the interior.
for sure.
I think adding another guy next to Brian Breeze, he'll like I want to open it up for him. I think he's a stud pass rusher. I think he is horrible in the run game and gets blown up. So I think bringing someone in there who can kind of eat up some of that run defense is really where you're going to find some strength there. And remind me, Kenneth Grant or Derek Harmon, who's more of a run stuffer there? I haven't done too
Um,
much edge or interior.
I would say Harmon by a little bit. Grant was more of kind of
He's
out of the two
a little
defensive
bit
tackles at
more
Michigan.
versatile.
Yeah, out of the two defensive tackles at Michigan, Kenneth Grant was kind of more of the get after the quarterback guy, and Mason Graham's just jack of all trades. So, um, and that
Is that rich for Derek Harmon in your opinion? Because I feel like
a
we could
little
even
bit,
like even a trade back here could be a spot
yeah.
where I wouldn't hate it. Like let me look at some trade back spots here. Yeah, so I'll just float out a trade. I am going to go here. I'm gonna go Harmon. I know it's rich. I
Okay.
know, but I really think I think that's a player of need. I think it's something that's going to open up for the Saints. I don't think they're in a position where they need to make aggressive plays now. I think get your guys to set up for the future, build a strong base, and really push that.
For sure, for sure. So you got the Bears coming up here.
Yeah. Bears. Do I do something? No, I don't. We'll go deep.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
I like Hampton.
Okay.
I like Hampton. I feel like it's really rich going early. Dude,
Two
two running
running
backs
backs
in the
off
top
before a
10 is
receiver or two tackles. That's or two or three edge rushers in this. Oof.
but the Bears need a running back. They bring in Ben Johnson, who
They
we've
like
seen what
they
he
like
does.
the Thunder and Lightning.
We
He likes
see
the
what he
Thunder and
does with
Lightning,
great running backs. O'Marion Hampton
but he
is,
also likes the offensive line.
yeah, no, I agree. That's where I can see some offensive line help there too. They're tackle needy, huh? Yeah, we'll go tackle. We'll look here.
Campbell?
Now the question is, yeah, I think we go Campbell here. I don't think Ben Johnson will have an issue with the arm size there. I think Will Campbell's an animal. I think he tested well. I think we're getting caught up in the echo chamber here of talking about Will Campbell for too long that we're unsure of him as a prospect.
Yeah, he's definitely got the tape of a top 10 pick, but he doesn't have the tape of a guy that should be going number 4 to New England.
Yeah,
So it's like he will probably kind of go back and forth tackle and guard, kind of like what Tevin Jenkins did a little bit when
yeah.
he came out. Um, and by the way, the Bears should absolutely re-sign him. It's beyond me how he's still a free agent.
They shouldn't. They shouldn't. Seattle's coming into. We've been meeting with them. So let us come in and get Jenkins. You guys can pick up someone in the future. Just let it happen,
I loved him coming out. He was just like ferocious, dude.
dude. I,
Or
I like I like Jenkins. I think he's an animal, and I hope that the Bears let him go in free agency. Let us.
yeah, you're up with your rival Niners, so you can screw them here, or you can actually
No, I'll help them
make
out.
a beneficial
They've
pick.
screwed themselves enough this offseason. They saw March 5th come out of Seattle, and they wanted to one up us one more time and just shoot themselves in the foot and cut the entire roster. So, Niners
They
here.
lost Banks too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Green Bay picked
Oh,
him.
it is. It's over. So I think they need a lot of help here. There is a lot of places we could go. I think tackle is in play. I think guards in play. I guess they just got pruning. I think tackles in play here. I think Josh Simmons is a play. Um, the
Booker's here
defensive
too.
Booker is here. Yeah, yeah. I think Booker is the play here. I do. They just need all the help they can get, and I like Booker coming out of Alabama. I think he's a surefire guard prospect.
Yeah, yeah, and all the interviews I've heard about him, great kid, nothing off the field really, works his ass off. Like, can't remember which coach at Bama said it, but he said that Booker's the Will Anderson of the offensive line. So that works with San Francisco. That's gonna completely boost their just in terms of staying healthy, boost that, and then running in the interior as well with
For sure,
McCaffrey.
for sure. Yeah, I think it's kind of just they missed their window. It's time to build it back up and give it another shot while they still got some pieces there.
Where are you on paying Purdy?
Dude, Purdy's from my hometown. I love Purdy personally. I think Purdy saved Shanahan. I don't think Shanahan or is it Joe Lynch over in
John Lynch.
John Lynch. I don't think either of them have a job right now without Purdy coming in. Three first rounds for Trey Lance, that shit show.
Yeah,
Like I think Purdy saved their jobs. I'm not saying $45 million a year, 5 year deal by any means. I think some of the markets in the league are getting a little absurd, but I think finding a healthy range for him.
yeah. If you can get a Darnold or a Geno deal done for him, or maybe a year or two longer.
Because my hard part is you don't pay Purdy. you go draft a quarterback and throw it up in the air and hope you land the guy.
Draft
I think
another Trey Lance.
exactly. I think Purdy's he's a great quarterback. You don't shoot yourself in the foot with great players.
Yeah, yeah. So you got Dallas here.
Dallas here,
I think
another
I know
team
where you're
that's
going.
since I couldn't get him before.
Yeah,
I think I have to. I think Tet makes sense. Adding a big combo in with CD. I think that would be a really cool look in Dallas. But I think Hampton, dude. I think they want it back. I think Omarion Hampton is an
I
animal.
don't understand why they let Dowdle go. I don't understand.
I don't understand it either. Let him go to a team that'll actually use his strengths.
Alrighty, Miami. Hmm. This is interesting because they need a lot. They need a
And
lot.
Booker's no Booker here.
No
That's why
Booker.
I was leaving Booker for Miami. That's been my mock is Booker to Miami.
I think it's too high for Banks. I'm gonna go
Zay
Simmons.
Simmons. I was gonna
Yeah.
say him or Zabel. I like
Yeah,
them.
he fits in with the injury prone of the Dolphins. But anyway, um, but yeah, if he comes into camp and he's healthy, I think he's probably the second best offensive lineman of this draft overall. He was absolutely locked down when he did play last year and when he played the year before. It's just how bad is the injury? How bad is it? Like Jonathan Brooks was drafted last year, torn ACL second round. We're all like, oh yeah, he'll be fine. And he tears it again,
Yeah,
like 3 games into his career. And it's like he's now out for next year too. So it's just
it's the hard thing projecting injuries because the thing is in the NFL the league doesn't slow down, dude. It gets you come in
yeah,
and you're playing at 30-40% harder what you were just playing in college.
yeah.
So there's so many
It's harder and
variables
faster, yeah.
for sure.
Uh
And now you serve them up on a silver platter here to Indy, and
yeah. This is
yeah,
Tyler Warren. This is Richardson's last shot. This is Richardson's last shot. Tyler Warren. Like even if you're moving on from Richardson after next year, you've got a nice tight end. And the Colts were the only team in the league last year to have 3 receivers over 800 yards. Now, did any of them reach 900 yards or 850 yards? No. But adding a guy like Tyler Warren will take some pressure off of needing Josh Downs to produce, needing Michael Pittman to produce like a wide receiver one, which he just has not. So Tyler Warren makes all crap ton of sense here, and a lot of people taking Tyler Warren here. So I don't hate it. Team to
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Alrighty. So they need edge help because it's Atlanta,
Yeah, yeah.
but we know that they're not. They don't want to touch it. I could see it. I like. I really like James Pierce here. I really, really, really like James Pierce here to Atlanta.
Hmm.
Um, I like. I actually really like Ezraku here as well. I think those are
Okay.
both. I think Ezraku actually could fit that system a little bit better. I really like him there. Um, this could be the stop of the Tet fall. I think McMillan could go here as well. I could that could be a cool as hell pairing, in my opinion. I haven't seen it very many places, but I think it could be a really cool pairing with
Like a Roddy White Julio kind of thing.
dude, big wide receivers. And then you get Penix in there who can chuck that ball up. He can put
And
the
you
ball,
just toss Mooney in the slot and you go
dude.
to work.
You go to work there. I think
And
that's a
you
great option
trade
there.
Kyle Pitts for a seventh round pick after taking him top five.
Over to Seattle. Since we're missing out on Warren, we'll take him over in Seattle. We'll give you a sixth even if you want him. I don't. I
You
think
want to
James
do
Pierce.
it? Hit the button. Hit
I, won't-
on the table for him.
I don't want to just because I really want Atlanta to fix their edge problem. I think
Okay.
I want I need they need to fix their edge problem.
Do you think DT's in play with Jared gone or no?
Yeah, I could definitely see it. Who do we have here?
We got Grant. We got Nolan.
Oh, we do have Grant. Yeah, I could see Grant 100%. I could see that going.
But it's oh, and there's another guy we're just kind of forgetting about because he's listed as a
Oh,
linebacker.
I'm completely missing my linebackers. You're correct. Jalen Walker.
Thank God it didn't get too far down the board. But yeah, it's
I personally think there's going to be a little bit of a fall on Jalen Walker. Like
the Georgia
in
guys. It's
comparison to where
projectability.
his what?
Projectability. That's what it is for the Georgia guys.
Yeah.
I think Williams is a little more polished, but so I like him a little bit more, not a lot more, but a little bit.
Oh, I went James Pierce. Sorry.
Oh, Pierce. Sweet.
Yeah.
So now we got Arizona. Guard is in play. I would argue anywhere along the
Guards.
defensive line as well.
I think
Corner
they
is in
could. I
play.
think they could. I think they could. They could do the Seahawk jump. They know that Seattle has interest on Gray Zabel. I think that's pretty prevalent. I think that's pretty known out there. I think Seattle likes Gray Zabel, and if he falls to Seattle, he's going. Um, I like Gray Zabel in the guard position. His at the Senior Bowl, he was a freaking animal. Like watching that Senior Bowl film, he was a monster. Uh,
Alrighty.
so I'm gonna go Zabel there.
Sweet. Yeah, he could kind of play anywhere on that offensive line, and Arizona's not a problem per se, but just like thing they gotta scheme around is Kyler Murray seeing over his offensive line.
Yeah,
Cincinnati, this is another kind of just slam dunk. Like this isn't going to be anything else besides either a tackle, a guard, or a defensive lineman. Um, I like Nolan here. I like Walker here. I'm going Walker here, actually. Now that I think about it, I'm going.
really.
Yeah, got to get a young edge rusher in there. Who knows if Trey Hendrickson's going to be there?
Yeah.
So that gives you Seattle. You kind of fell on the sword there. I think I know where you're going here.
The Tet drop.
I had a feeling. I had a
It,
feeling.
it it's been that's the biggest thing. So with the Cardinals, if they, I think if Tet falls this far, I think Seattle is.
All
I
over it.
mean, it's all over. Like that is run to the podium, get your guy. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you can replace DK Metcalf with Tedroa McMillan because we've seen with AJ Brown you can't just replace wide receivers. But if anybody's going to give you a chance to be that big body wide receiver who can actually make a goddamn contested catch, that is going to be Tedroa McMillan
Yeah. Yeah. And JSN's going to be wide receiver one out of the gate anyway.
for sure.
So, like, Ted just kind of gives you a guy on the outside, like, get inside the 20, chuck it up to him. Like,
Yep.
now Tampa.
Tampa here, I've been mocking Jahad Campbell.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the ones in this draft that feels fairly obvious that they need that linebacker, that strong linebacker position. I like Jahad Campbell, great guy. I feel like that's the one of the ones that I just have like he always falls. He's right there. It's a perfect pick.
Yeah. It just makes too much sense. You can kind of do whatever you want with Levante David now.
Exactly. That's all you in Denver. Got some options here.
I got two guys, three guys I'm on right now. Part of me wants to, part of me wants to do one of them just to throw this in a loop. There's so many options here, man.
This is a good spot right here.
I'm gonna go Loveland. I'm gonna go Loveland. Sean Payton gets his guy, takes him away from the Chargers.
You think that Evan Ingram is smokescreen? Because I think it's smokescreen.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of just toying with this a little bit. Like Denver could just completely be out on a first round tight end, but like they could also just be picking up Evan Ingram to again smokescreen all the other teams and be like, oh, we're not going to take a tight end round one, and then they take Loveland. So
Yeah. If not, would you see like Kenneth Grant, defensive interior, Darius Alexander? Where do you think? Set.
the two guys I was between were Barron and Caleb Johnson.
Okay.
I
I like Jahade Barron. I think we're seeing a little fall where you could see him get scooped.
do I want to do the popular thing or do I want to just take the guy that's right there for him? We're gonna go quarterback. It's just which one.
I
And
feel like it's got to
P
be dark.
PFF is doing my boy Shuck completely wrong. I'm not gonna take him here. This is gonna be Dart, but Shuck's gonna be a lot higher around draft time.
I
Um,
I hope Seattle takes him round two. I don't care. I hope we can take him and develop him.
yeah, whoever gets in round two is gonna be reaping the benefits. Uh, LA here. I think Jim Harbaugh is gonna take one of his guys here. I'm gonna go Will Johnson here. I know they need a little bit of defensive line help, but it's a deep class. There's not many Will Johnsons coming around. Will Johnson, beginning of the year, top five pick, easy. Now it's like, is that foot injury real? Is that like he's not running in his pro day? He's gonna do like a private workout even closer to the draft, so kind of thrown up even more, for lack of a better term,
A
like
little bit of concern there.
yeah, concerns, yeah, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
So now you got Green Bay here.
Yeah. And to add on the Will Johnson, in when healthy, I think he's the best corner in this class. I think it really is just seeing where that injury stacks up and like we were talking about earlier, the league doesn't slow down, so getting him
Hmm.
healthy. But Green Bay here, I think Jahade Barron falling here is like a scoop and a half for Green Bay. I think they want to start getting that cornerback position filled, especially with the concerns on
Jair.
Jair Alexander.
Yeah, they're shopping him around. I don't see. I've also been toying with like around the Green Bay pick, like with Barron still on the board, made like Green Bay doing the thing they do, which is like having a top five or top three consensus corner on the board, and them just completely passing on him and taking Eric Stokes and then letting him walk 4 years later. So, but anyway, up to you with
this
Minnesota.
is me hoping Green Bay has some brains this year, I guess. Minnesota. Minnesota. I think defensive interiors in play here. I think they lost some trench pieces on the offensive side as well, didn't they? This
They got Cam Robinson still out there, but they got
did they pick
Freeze.
up yeah, they picked up fries. Freeze.
They also picked up Hargrave and Jonathan Allen.
Yeah, they did.
So,
This is a weird spot. What have you been mocking to Minnesota here?
as much as I don't like to, safety.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Get Harrison Smith.
Yeah, you got
Ooh. Ooh, they could. There's a couple options here. You have your safe pick or safer pick in Malachi Starks, or you have your fun pick in Eman Wari. And
I
I
like
think
I like either
I
one.
I think you have the option with Harrison Smith there to take Eman Wari and have some development period.
Yeah,
Uh, I like it there. Personally, I think it's late enough to take it. Although Eamon Wari.
Houston now. If there was an interior offensive lineman available, they would be running up to the board here, or worth taking here. I think this is actually, now that I'm looking at it, this is a slam dunk Emeka Egbuka pick.
Yeah.
Um, Egbuka is closer to wide receiver one than he is to wide receiver three in this draft. Unbelievable slot option. It's just an Ohio State guy that you're going to rely on for the next 5 years on the interior. You're going to have Nico Collins on the outside. You're going to have this dude working over the middle, absolutely cooking whoever they put on him, whether it's a safety, whether it's a outside linebacker, whether it's that's nickel corner. He can beat any nickel corner off rip coming out. So now you got LA.
LA. Who were there? I haven't even seen anything from LA off. I know they went out and got Devontae. Outside of
I
that,
haven't I
have
haven't
they
seen
made
much
very many
else.
free agency? Many.
It they traded Jackson, Jonah Jackson, but he wasn't making an impact for him anyway.
Yeah, he wasn't doing much there. There's not much interior help we could get there. I like Banks. I think this is a good spot for Banks. We could see. I think we could see. I don't like tight end here. Cornerback could be an option here. Just defensive pressure. Maxwell Harrison, the most athletic guy out of this draft, could be in play here. I like that. Um, LA likes their athletic defensive backs. So I'm gonna go Harrison there, and we'll see what they do from there.
Alrighty. So now we got Baltimore. Baltimore was I was thinking Hairston with Baltimore's pick. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I could see that there too. So it's a little bit of a jump.
But here I'm going to take my next edge off the board, Michael Williams out of Georgia. They got to get after the quarterback, man. It we I think they were towards the bottom of the league in pass defense last year. They get it to win a Super Bowl, you need to get after the quarterback, you need to protect the quarterback. And that Rosengarten pick they made last year is a great way to protect the quarterback. Now you got to get after the quarterback, and not giving Howie Roseman a Georgia defensive end would be a step in the right direction. So,
Yeah.
and now Detroit.
There's a guy here who reminds me a bit of Hutch. Lions
Okay.
are in need of an edge here. I think I like Scourton a lot. I think he has those kind of power moves similar. You're jumping Izaraku. I like Izaraku a lot, but it's just kind of scheme fit here.
You gonna take Scored over Stewart?
Who do you think, lines wise? You think Stewart?
I think Stewart, and I don't think Scored's a top 40 guy.
Really?
I and honestly I might like Josiah Stewart out of Michigan a little more, but man, Scorden was just like top 10 for a minute, and then like in like early February around the Super Bowl, he was like, "Oh yeah, Scoren's a top 10 pick," and then Senior Bowl comes out and Stewart's popping off, Izaraku's popping off, Mike Green's popping off, and Scoren's just kind of like I don't even think he participated. Just on the fact of not participating,
He's not competing.
he's not gonna keep his draft stock. If other guys are moving up ahead of him, he's just gonna fall down
Yeah,
kind of as a byproduct of that. So
I could see that. I think really with the edge there, it's really interchangeable for me. With a couple guys there with the lines, I think they'll go. I think they want a second edge though. I think they want to keep the pressure on.
So what are you
Uh,
rolling?
if you're thinking the fall on Scorton, I'll take you on Stewart.
Okay. All right, you're up with Washington. Are you going to keep the edge run going, or are you going to go elsewhere?
I think they need their edge, and I know you like your guy. You think he's able to go this early?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
All right, we'll go Landon Jackson.
All right, all right. I like that.
I like Landon Jackson. I
Dude,
think
he's
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 I
he's
think I
come a
think he's
long way, dude. I wanted to see the agility numbers from him, but man, that explosiveness is off the chain. Um, he was like he's like top 10 in RAS score since it was measured and started getting measured back in like the 80s.
yeah.
It's nuts. Buffalo, this is where the Walter Nolan fall stops.
Yeah.
I feel real bad about letting Walter Nolan go this far 'cause Nolan could go probably I could see him going to San Francisco all the way up there. So he's kind of got a wide range. It's kind of just like how our team's prioritizing defensive tackle in this draft. That was Buffalo's biggest need coming off the playoff run, and it's going to be their biggest need going into next year. Getting a first round guy like Nolan, I think he's just with Drake May popping off like he's been doing, and Fields, more mobile quarterbacks in that division. They're going to need more pressure from the interior.
I think it's a dream pick. Pair him with Ed Oliver. You have a scary trenches right there,
Yeah,
dude.
they're just learning off each other, and it's just absolute haymakers left and right. Now, here's an interesting one. I'm really low on Connerly, so I'm kind of taking him out here. I saw him get beat up against Ohio State. I saw him get beat up at the Senior Bowl. It was just wasn't too wild about him. I'm gonna roll with Banks here.
Yeah.
I think it's just a safe pick. And Kansas City just needs a tackle, man. And Banks could go anywhere again from 10 to again probably 30. 31 is probably the end of his range, maybe 33 or 34. But again, 16 through 60, I think somebody said was like there's not a lot of difference in terms of caliber of player, so you can kind of go whichever way you want. So
Yeah. I agree there.
so now you're up with Philly to cap this
Philly.
thing.
Philly loses Josh Sweat. I think filling that edge spot is strong. Um, I
And they
think.
just Brandon Graham just retired.
Oh, Brian Graham did just retire.
And they lost
Did,
Milton Williams too.
did I not? Yeah, they are freaking. Uh,
And they
they got.
lost Slay and
I,
Bradbury.
when did Brandon Graham? Oh, he retired like 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, when did he retire? I did not. I didn't see that at all. Yeah, so they're cooked. Defensive line wise, I think.
They just saw the strength in this class and were just like, you know what, we can let some guys walk.
Yeah,
And
we can let everybody get out of here. I actually really would have liked Landon Jackson there. That would have been a pretty sick spot
yeah,
for him. I think.
there's a
I
Georgia
think.
defensive guy up there.
Oh,
Yeah, Starks.
safety. You got say you think so? I think
I
they. I think they gotta fix. I think they gotta pump the trenches.
it's your pick. It's your pick. I'm letting you cook here. There's not really a bad guy you can go with. And
Yeah, there really isn't. I think Izaraku is going to be my pick. I think get someone off the edge, we just try to add some strength there into that core.
I like that. I like that fit a lot. Yes, he played in the small conference. Yes, he produced in said small conference, but I think he's still there's a you can't go wrong with these edge guys this year. I Scorton could scare some people. I could see that. Um,
Yeah.
and the off-field stuff scares some.
I think Scorton could be an animal. I think maybe he's fallen out of recency bias a little bit. I
Uh,
think
maybe
he's kind of just people have been seeing the athletic freaks out there, and Scorton's a good football player. That's what I know.
there was one thing I was kind of thinking about towards the end there. LA or Detroit taking a quarterback is definitely in play there. I think either trading back or trading up. I think people are going to be kind of surprised by the Starks fall a little bit. I think,
Yeah, that's the thing is Starks. He could go to the Eagles there. I think he could go to Minnesota if they want a little bit of a more surefire prospect. I think he could fall into a more defensive back needy team for sure. Uh,
yeah,
but like we could easily see him fall or end up on the Packers. I think if Jahade Barron goes a little bit earlier
yeah,
into that like kind of mix. There's a couple good
yeah, and
spots. Definitely see.
like Starks, like it wouldn't shock me if he went seven. Like he's that good. He's that good of a
Yeah,
safety prospect. But again, it's a safety prospect, or it's a safety. So you gotta kind of do what you will with that information, and like they pan out. But if you got one that you have confidence in as a team, you're not really gonna spend the first round pick on them per
yeah.
se.
Well,
So
Brian Branch is my shining light example of safeties can fall, especially great safeties. Brian
yeah,
Branch was a blue
absolutely.
chip prospect coming out of college who fell to the second round.
Yeah, yeah, he was phenomenal coming out. I don't understand why he didn't go first. Um, like Mike Sainer still last year. He wasn't a
Yeah.
safety, but he plays now kind of the same role as Branch does. And he
hmm
went, I think 50 or 51, something like
I
that to
was he
Washington.
went. I was mad when Seattle didn't wasn't able to get up there for that pick.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones I was hammering home was Sanders still.
Yeah, yeah. It was Johnson, it was Sanders still, and nobody was scoring on that defense. And he
Yeah.
converted wide receiver. But yeah, so this wraps up the first collaborative mock draft on this channel. So
That's
we got it
great
all
to do it,
done.
dude.
Um, we'll do another one of these closer to the draft.